What a good day in front of us. The San Francisco 49ers back at practice yet again. We heard from Kyle Shanahan. We heard from a bunch of different players on all the things going on with the San Francisco 49ers. And amazingly, we got to see real life footage of Ricky Pearsall at 49ers practice, and honestly just really turning out to be a really cool situation. But a lot of updates. We've got team captains, we have injury practice reports, plenty of things to talk about and discuss with this San Francisco 49ers team. So we're going to talk about it all. Let's get into it right now. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. Let's go. Shout out the SDS. Let's get into it. Such great news popping off today. Makes me really happy. We'll get into the Ricky Pearsall stuff in a second, but let's talk about captains. Haven't talked about this just yet. So let's get into it and let's discuss it. So we have the San Francisco 49ers captains announced. And boy, do you love to see it. Fantastic. Let's break down the captains right here. As you can see, the San Francisco 49ers have awarded Fred Warner, Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Juszczyk, Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, and George Kittle, all as captains. And honestly, it feels right because we didn't have Nick Bosa as a captain. I believe this will be the first time Kyle Juszczyk has been named a captain. As you can see from Bosa's jersey last year after his holdout, I guess he wasn't awarded a captain patch. And we saw that 2 years in a row. We saw the San Francisco 49ers take previous captains and take the captain's patch away for contract holdouts, except for this guy, Trent Williams. Again, I've talked about it so often. Trent Williams is the alpha in the locker room. Trent Williams missed all of training camp, all of preseason, all of the practices, yet he's still a captain. You want to know why that is? Because he's the alpha. He is the alpha. That's why he gets it. Trent can do whatever the heck he wants to do because he's the alpha. He can do literally anything. And again, it's really cool to see. But I got to say, shout out to Kyle Juszczyk. I'm pretty sure this is the first time that he gets the captain's patch. Deebo was captain last year, but he wasn't a captain after his holdout. So he's back. He's back in the saddle. Of course, Fred Warner, George Kittle. I mean, when you get to be a captain for so many years, you get the gold captain's patch. Obviously, Deebo will be a captain again. Christian McCaffrey will get that captain's patch, well deserving. And of course, Brock Purdy will be a captain as well. I'm really excited about that. Love all of this. I think this is a perfect list. Did anyone get snubbed from this list? I'm trying to think, going through in my head of like who could have been snubbed. Mm, I would say if Dre Greenlaw was healthy, I think he'd be in consideration. I think maybe Talanoa Hufanga, if he was healthier, he would be in consideration. Oh, maybe Charvarius Ward or Diamador Lenore could have been considered. I know Kyle Shanahan said that they can potentially have up to 9 captains, but they kept it at 8. Um, so there definitely could have been a potential for Ward or Lenore or Huff, I think, in that mix. But lots of offensive players, and of course, 49ers offense is absolutely loaded. Um, Only 2 defensive players in Bosa and Warner, but I think, all things considered, it's a good list. Again, you can make considerations for some other defensive players, I think, but I would say as it stands right now, uh, not bad. Really, really not bad at all. I'm pretty happy with that list. And once we get through this a little bit, I got a fun announcement for you guys. I got a fun announcement for you that aligns with football being back tonight. So I'm very excited to get into all of that. We got football tonight. Can you believe it? Oh, it feels like it felt like it went from the longest off season ever on hand to now, boom, all of a sudden it's time to play some football. So I'm hyped on it. Let's get into it. Also, obviously, some of the really awesome news from today was surrounding Ricky Pearsall. This was the first time that we've heard from Kyle Shanahan on this. It's the first time that we got like legitimate insight from Kyle on this, and he really did provide some amazing tidbits about the situation, how Ricky handled it, what Ricky was saying, all the different things that just again continue to solidify that this was a miracle and that there was something bigger at play here. Just absolutely amazing. And this, I think, quote uh, definitely explains it. Kyle Shanahan was going on saying that he was talking with the ER nurses and the people in the ER, and they said out of 100 people who had the same gunshot wound in the chest, only 2 people have survived that. So Ricky Pearsall, it suffered an injury that had a percentage rate of 98% chance of fatality. That is an absolute mind-boggling situation. And again, it doesn't end there, right? We already know that the fact that Ricky was able to just walk to the ambulance was remarkable in of itself. And as we learn more, where he got shot, how it all played out, just absolutely insane. Um, Obviously, we heard from Kyle on it. Let me
See him Sunday, Monday, for him to be able to walk around and stuff with that happening, talking to people at the ER, saying out of like,
can you guys hear that sound? Give me a quick. I need my producers in the chat. It's always hit or miss with what sound comes through on StreamYard. So I just wanted to make sure that we got sound. All right. So let's listen to what Kyle had to say really quickly on this matter.
For him to be able to walk around and stuff with that happening, talking to people at the ER, saying out of like 100 people, 2 people have survived that. And to be able to see him the next day and just that he's able to walk, he's coming to meetings, he's doing all that. But, he wants to go a while, a week or so without trying to work up a sweat. And then after that, he'll start his rehab and progress to getting back. Kind of been amazing.
So also he went on to say where Ricky got shot. Basically, he got shot 2 inches below his praying hands. So as you can see, look at the chest tat. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Look at the chest tat. You've got angels praying. So he got shot on the right side. They said about 2 inches below. So about in this area is where Ricky got shot, straight through the chest. Man, there's a lot of stuff in here. There's bone, there's rib, there's cartilage, there's lungs. That is just absolutely insane that he got shot straight through the chest without without anything without anything getting nicked. And when you think about it, whether you're spiritual or not, you know, I understand people have varying beliefs. I respect that. I don't try to push anything on anyone. But you know, as someone who does believe, this is pretty amazing. And when you look at the imagery, when you look at how it all happened and how it went down, um, it's crazy. Like, again, I keep calling it a miracle. He shouldn't be here right now based on this injury. So it all is amazing. And again, the officer who showed up on site, uh, Joelle Harrell, very spiritual as well in her working with Ricky through this. So just a very, very just remarkable situation, and just really happy that he's good. And it was funny. One of my favorite things about what Ricky said was he told Kyle, I think from the hospital, that he could play versus the Jets. Again, some of the things that John Lynch echoed about how Ricky was like, I'm not injury prone. I can play. I think we can all fully say that Ricky's pretty damn tough. Right? And again, a lot of injuries can be bad luck. I talk about it all the time. Everyone always wants to blame someone for an injury. Oh, it's the training staff. Oh, it's the coaches pushing him too hard. Oh, the player's injury prone. Listen, man, I played a lot of football. I've seen a lot of freak injuries. I've seen a lot of freak accidents. I've seen a lot of random things happen that turn into long-term injuries. It is what it is. It's the nature of the game. And right now, Ricky was dealing with some bad injury luck that was unfortunate. And of course, our fan base is dripping with injury PTSD. So when something like that occurs, it's really easy for our fan base to project onto players all the pain of the Jalen Hurds and the D Fords and all the players that we've thought like had so much promise, so much hope, and they got hurt, right? So I get that part of it, but I think if there's anything that we take away is they are tough. That Ricky's tough, man. He's he's tougher than a lot of us. Seeing how he handled the whole situation. Again, just amazing. Just super happy for him. And his family, to be honest. Just amazing circumstances. This is what we got earlier today. Ricky Pearsall back at practice with the San Francisco 49ers. I asked this question earlier when I was making a video on this, and I posted it already, but I'll pose it to you guys. Do you guys think you would be back at work only in less than a week after you got shot in the chest, I would have to venture and say no. No, you would not be back at work. I would not be back at work. I would take all the sick leave possible. I would say, you know what? I'm going to go buy some lottery tickets. The fact that I'm still here, I'm going to go play the lotto, see what happens. I would not be at work. And again, man, just it speaks to him, his resiliency, how much this game means to him, and you got to respect it. You really, really do. Uh, Alex says, "I'm watching you at work, so you do the math." Honestly, if I did get shot, I would probably still go live. Guys, I'm not gonna joke about it. I'm not gonna joke about it. But yeah, man, good for him. Good for him. Just shows you how much it means to him. And just being back, being around his teammates, being in an environment that he obviously feels comfortable in means a lot to him. Dude, he was at work. He was at work 48 hours after he got shot in the chest. Unbelievable. Shout out Nick Wagner for this video. Just absolutely unbelievable set of circumstances. And just to see him walking around, tossing the ball. Does this look like a guy who got shot in the chest less than a week ago? Like, what? Unbelievable, dude. Absolutely unbelievable. Couldn't be happier for him, man. And again, everything that we keep hearing about the situation is, Ricky, calling the party from his hospital room, FaceTiming in front of the whole team. Man, I think this situation, again, it's beyond football. And I do think fans do forget sometimes that with this game, these are humans playing it. And there's a human element to this game. And that unfortunately is sometimes taken out because I think we view these players as like chess pieces and things of that nature. Um, or just like guys in your fantasy lineup or guys in your Madden franchise or whatever. But the human element of football is real. It's something that I always talk about. It's always something that I always uphold in my evaluations. It's always something that I'm conscious of. I think a lot of people who even cover football don't uphold the human element of football. That's why they say the outlandish things that they say. That's why they are so overly critical and criticize from a standpoint of recognizing that these are humans. They're going to make mistakes. You have to incorporate in that into the equation of the evaluation. It's how it works. And so it helps you quantify what you're watching better, helps you understand better of what's happening on the field because these are humans and you have to take into account emotion. You have to take into account confidence. You have to take into account all those things. They all contribute to an individual player's success. So I'm just really just super happy for him, man. Could have been so much worse. Could have been unbelievably worse with how that whole situation went down. All right, let's get into this. We had our injury practice updates from today. Did not participate Yetur Gross Matos, D Winters. I'm gonna say just based on gut, it feels like Yetur is trending towards not being available for week 1. I hope that changes, but that's just my gut feeling based on the initial report being week to week and Obviously, he will have until Saturday to practice to have a real shot. So again, if you guys are new, this is how we kind of break down practice reports. Um, Guys don't have to practice on the second or the first or second day of the block uh, heading into a game. But if they show up as a limited participant on a, like, let's say a Friday practice, or in this case, a Saturday practice, that is when we're like, okay, the chances of them playing just went up exponentially. If they miss an entire week of practice, that is typically when we kind of get real cautious about a player participating. So that's now what we're looking at for both D Winters and Yetur Gross Matos is we want to see, will they practice tomorrow or on Saturday? And if they don't practice on Saturday, we can almost go ahead and kind of assume that they aren't going to play. But obviously, that's why we have to monitor practice updates for now. So those are the two that we're going to be monitoring throughout the week. In a limited participation, Christian McCaffrey with calf Achilles. Guard Aaron Banks, limited participation with the pinky. Wide receiver Jawan Jennings with an ankle. He was out previously with an oblique. Now he's limited with an ankle. Isaac Garendo limited with a groin, and it's good to see Talanoa Hufanga out there limited with a knee. So I'm going to go ahead and say that Talanoa Hufanga is trending towards playing. If we get any type of full participation from Talanoa Hufanga this week, I'm going to go ahead and say he's playing. So I'm really looking out for that. I would love to see Talanoa Hufanga play and return. So those are some of the key updates from today's practices. We've got captains. We've got more insight into the Ricky Pearsall situation and how much of a miracle that was. We got to see him. We got injury updates. And, with the game going on tonight, I'm really excited to announce that we are going to be back for another season as we have partnered with Sleeper Fantasy. Let's go. So, as you guys typically know, it's time to do some picks, baby. So, I'm excited about this. I don't know if you guys are locked in with Sleeper or not. If you aren't, download the app. And if you guys want to play and you want to get in on this action, I'm not going to lie, it's really fun. I've already made like 3 tickets. If you use my code SF9ers, if you're a first-time player and you go in to play DFS and you use my code SF9ers, then you will, let's say you deposit $100, they give you $100. Say you deposit 50, they will give you 50. So whatever you deposit into your wallet is what they will match. So if you think you will play, if you think you're going to play some DFS throughout the year and you think, I can mess around with 100, we'll throw in 100 into your wallet and they will kick you 100 back. So you're going to start the year with 200 in your wallet, but you have to use the code SF9ers. And you can see people talking in the chat. Sleeper it's literally the best fantasy app in the world, over 7 million users. They continue to upgrade it every year. It's where I got all my dynasty leagues. It's where I got all my redraft leagues. And now with the addition of all this DFS, it makes it even more fun. So for our first time this year, let's do some sleeper picks, shall we? I already been eyeing some. I like I said, I already made. I was dabbling last night. I already made like 3 tickets. it's pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. And again, you can wager as little as $5. It's not like you have to throw a crazy amount of money at this. Like you can have some fun with it. Yes, it's called Sleeper. It's called Sleeper Fantasy. Um, and so again, it's not like you gotta go crazy. Like if you put $100 in, like say initial deposit, you don't have to bet the whole 100. You can literally throw 5 and you could chip away at 5 and you'll see really quickly. Depending on how many picks you want to play, you can turn $5 into a couple hundred. Like it's challenging, right? Because you have to hit on so many of these over unders for each player, but you could literally turn 5 into a couple $100. Like it's very very possible. Like for example, I got a $10 ticket going right now, and if I win this $10 ticket with 6 players, one of them being Patrick Mahomes on sale, I get $280. It's not bad. That's not bad. So let's talk about this first ticket that I played. This is a ticket just for tonight's game. We'll do the same thing for 49ers Jets. So this will be our warm-up. This is my warm-up to 49ers Jets. So if you go into the app, you'll see that Patrick Mahomes is on sale. So or did they take that out? Oh, they took the sale out. So what you guys are going to see when you go into the app, they're going to have these little banners that show you like Joe Burrow. He's 99% off. So anything, it's almost like a free pick, essentially. And so I got in when Patrick Mahomes was on sale. He's not on sale anymore. So just FYI, you'll see a little countdown of when the offer ends. So like with Joe Burrow, you still have 2 days to get in and use his 99% off his pick. So let's go through the ticket that I placed. I feel pretty good about this ticket. I hope we hit on this one. So I did Patrick Mahomes with over 19 and a half completions. So we know Patrick Mahomes, he's going to be spraying that ball around. So that one, to me, that seemed like, yeah, we're going to smash that. So I took Patrick Mahomes over, and it's really all it is. It's super easy. You have multiple options, receptions, yards, touchdowns, and you just pick over or under, and you just press an arrow either for up or for down. As of right now, we're not doing 500. As you can see, we're up to 100. But if we ever go back to 500, you guys know I'll be the first to let you know. So I did Patrick Mahomes over 19 and a half completions. This one I think is a sneaky one. Rashad Bateman. No one's talking about Rashad Bateman. He's the Ravens' number 2 wide receiver. He's healthy. I believe he's heading into year 3. He's heading into year 3, year 4. He's dealt with a lot of injuries before. So I took Rashad Bateman on the over 2.5 receptions. I feel like when you look at the Ravens, options, it's Zay Flowers, it's Mark Andrews, it's Rashad Bateman. I think Rashad Bateman in a game where this is probably going to be I'm assuming high scoring. It feels that way, right? So I have Bateman on the over with 2.5 receptions. I think he'll have 3 catches. I think that's something that's reasonable for Bateman. For this one, again, you can get granular with this one. I went with Justice Hill, 15 and a half rushing yards. Now he is the running back 2 behind Derrick Henry, right? But if you go back and you kind of look at what he was able to do last season, he had more games over 15 rush yards than he didn't. And I know they like Justice Hill. And the other young rookie or second year running back, he's out. So I'm taking a shot on it. This isn't a gimme, but I'm taking a shot on it. And I'm taking a shot on Justice Hill with over 15 and a half rushing yards. If you think about it, one 8-yard run, you're already halfway there. So I'm not saying you have to do that one. This is the one that I'm doing. It's a sneaky pick, in my opinion. With the one that maybe would make sense for more people is Lamar Jackson. So I took him on the over with combined 273 and a half yards passing and rushing. So I think Lamar will exceed that. And again, it's combined passing yards and rushing yards. And I took the over on that one. This one, little sketch on. This one was a little bit of a gamble, but I took the under on Isaiah Pacheco, 17 and a half yards. And the reason why I felt like taking that is because you can go back into what he did last season, and he only went over 17 yards receiving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So out of 17 games, he only went over 17 and a half receiving yards 6 times. And so it's a scary one, but I'm taking it. I'm taking it. It might backfire. These are the pitfalls of, again, I'm making a gamble. I'm making a gamble with Hill. I'm making a gamble with Pacheco. I don't think those are necessarily the safest picks, but I'm taking a shot on it. And then Rashee Rice, I took the over of 63 and a half receiving yards. So if all 6 of these picks hit for a $10 ticket, I'll win $281.90. That's not bad. Again, it's a $10 ticket. So that's kind of how I go about it. If I'm going to spend 5 to 10 on a ticket, I'm actually going to make some gambles, right? I'm going to kind of take a chance. I'm taking a chance on Hill. I'm taking a chance on Bateman. I'm taking a chance on Pacheco. I would say those are 3 out of 6 that I'm taking a chance on. And the reason why is because it's only a $10 ticket. So I'm not too worried about that. So again, it's going to make tonight a lot more interesting. So I love it. I love it. I'm excited for football. Remember, if you want to get in, use the promo code SF9ers, and yeah, we'll have some fun. And I'll tell you if I crashed and burned or not tomorrow. I think I've honestly, like, reading it back, I think I felt a lot more confident making the ticket. As I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I could either hit that one or I could burn tremendously. But again, I got $10 on the line. $10. If I hit 280, that's not bad. That's not bad for a little bit of a gamble. So again, you can play safer picks than I played with still the same outcome. So really excited to hop back in with Sleeper, man. I really am. Like, when you talk about leader in their field, he said, Brad, gotta be honest, that's ass. That's what I'm saying. I think late last night when I was delirious making this, it was like, oh, I'm out I'm out scheming it. Reading it back, I'm like, all right, I might have been a little delirious. But if I hit, Alec, I want you to come back tomorrow. I want you to come back tomorrow. I want you to apologize to the king of the SD. No, just kidding. But two, what I want to know too is I think what we'll do is I want to celebrate winners too. So if you guys are winning, I want to know. So if you guys put in tickets and you have much better success than I do, I want to hear about it. So we'll do like a segment at the end of because we'll do a sleeper segment on Friday. So I think our sleeper segments will be Thursday, Friday. So we can do before Thursday night football and then before the weekend, and we'll kind of recap. If we win this one. All right, let's get back into 49ers football. I'm excited though to get back in the swing of things with Sleeper. It's going to be a fun year. We're going to be doing picks all season, so I'm really excited about that. And let's see what we can do. Actually, you know what? Are you guys over the Sleeper thing, or should we build out a ticket right now? Because we can build out. We can try to do. We can do SF Niner tickets so that we build it together, and then we can check how we did the following day. So I'm gonna leave that up to the chat. We can build out a ticket right now, and if we win too, I'll figure out how we might be able to redistribute. That's a good idea, Hendrix. That's a good idea. We'll do a 49er one tomorrow. That'll be a lot more fun. We'll do a 49er one tomorrow. All right. Let's get your 49er questions in. I see one right here. Donald says, will BA have an even better year this year? I'm honestly not anticipating a crazy drop off. I think a lot of people are concerned with I think people are concerned that he will. I'm honestly less concerned about that. I think, and knowing what I know about his off-season training program, I think we have to remember he was at least in the building, right? He was going to all the meetings. He was still in the routine of being on the team, right? He just wasn't on the field. So I don't know. I don't think he's really going to skip a beat. If anything, he's probably going to be hungrier and fresher than ever. So I think he has a chance to do better. I'm really not anticipating a fall off. It can happen. I think that's a range of outcome that can definitely occur. But it's definitely not something that I'm anticipating. I think he's going to have another good year, and I need it. Because I have a ton of Brandon Ayuk stock in all my leagues, so I need my guy to ball out. Health wise, we'll have to see, obviously, but I think he'll be okay. For sure. Any other 49ers questions that you guys got today for me? Drop them in the chat. But I'm excited that we got football back. Football, 49ers football, Thursday night football, Sunday night football, Monday night football. We got all the football back. College football's back. We're back in the swing, baby. Pearsall should lead the Niners onto the field Monday night home opener. That would be fire. How can a team improve on special teams this year? I think kickoff coverage is the thing that stands out so far. Is you want to ensure that the coverage team isn't going to be a liability And obviously, all these guys, they're learning for the first time, right? So they're learning it's a new kickoff rule for everyone. So there's going to probably be some teams that could be more prepared than others off the rip. I know a lot of people are concerned with what they saw in the preseason showing, but who knows? Maybe they've had time to tweak and adjust, and maybe they figured out something that works for sure. But ooh, what if the 49ers did this? What if you know how they do the walkout of the tunnel with the boombox? What if it was Ricky Pearsall in the front, flanked by Debo and Trent? You got my guy Rob with the boombox, and they're playing Many Men by 50 Cent. I can't. First of all, I can't believe I did that weird thing. I'm hanging out with my kids too much, so I apologize for that absolutely cringe behavior. Um, but that would be that would be fire. Monday Night Football, Many Men on the boombox, Pearsall in the front, Trent, Debo, and the rest of the squad behind him. How do we make that happen? That would be electric. That would be. I'm so ready for some football though. I'm so excited for the Levi Stadium atmosphere. Um, so feels good, man. Donald says, "I'm really liking Pooney. We needed that dog." Yeah, I know Pooney's looked good in preseason. I think it is important to understand that he could have early struggles at the beginning of the season. So go easy on the rookie if he does. But of course, the hope is that he comes out and is solid, right? And that what we saw in the preseason translates, and I do believe it will. So I'm not necessarily concerned about that, but I do recognize it is a potential range of outcome. It could happen. So I just think, I don't know, man. It's going to be a good one. I'm excited for Pooney, for sure. That comment is wild. Uh, how is the D line going to be different from last year? I think there'd be quicker. I think it's going to be a quicker unit up front. I think I think Eric was just more. He was a good, like, stout, large defensive tackle. Malik Collins strikes me as someone who's quicker. He's faster on the interior. He's more like Hargrave. So you kind of got two Hargrave like bodies on the interior. You got much more legitimate length and speed on the outside with Leonard Floyd, and you combine that with Pooney or with Bosa. I mean, I think that one sack that we saw, I think it was against the Raiders when the 49ers starting defensive line. I think it was Yetur Gross Matos around the edge, right? It was Yetur around the edge. You had some interior pressure. Quarterback steps up right into Leonard Floyd's sack. Like, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the first guy to move the quarterback off the spot or force him to hold the ball for a tick longer to allow the other guys to beat their guy and then create havoc. I think that's really the key to defensive line success in a pass rushing situation is you need someone to get in there and force the quarterback to readjust. if that means a sidestep, if that means a pump, if that means just 1/2 second the quarterback is holding the ball longer, that is where you have other dogs who can clean up. That's how you do it. Is like you need that initial pressure, and then you get the wave over the top, whether from the speed on the outside or interior pressure. Like again, if you've got Bosa and you have Floyd collapsing the pocket and you're pushing them right into Collins and Hargrave, they're going to be right there to eat. So I'm really excited about that aspect of it because I've really wanted speed on the opposite side of Nick Bosa since D Ford was here. So I'm really hoping for that, really, really just hoping that it works out and this defensive line can stay healthy. I think that's really the biggest thing is because they don't have the greatest depth, I would say. But if they can stay healthy, this could be a really good defensive line that really helps anchor. And also, too, I think on top of that, having a good secondary will also help this defensive line, right? Forcing forcing the quarterbacks to hold the ball a little bit longer. I think it's all gonna work together. I think as the more and more we learn about it, just Steve Wilkes just was an absolute non-fit for what the 49ers were looking for, scheme-wise, mentality-wise. Just it didn't fit. Like it literally didn't work. I honestly didn't expect it to be that challenging to fit Steve Wilkes into this defensive culture, but it was. It was. And so I think going back to Sorensen is going to really create more of that continuity and get back to having more of a marriage between rush and coverage. Like you talk about a marriage of rush and coverage, it was divorced. It was like 3 times divorced with Steve Wilkes. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I was talking about it with Aponte yesterday on State of the Franchise when we were talking about the Vikings game. I couldn't believe how disjointed the rush and coverage was. It didn't make sense to me. I was like, why are we playing so much off coverage? Why are we giving them first downs? It doesn't make sense to me. It literally doesn't make sense to me. And then, of course, the egregious one of, I think it was like 0 blitz on a 3rd and long, and they score before halftime. Just questionable decision making. So, and obviously that's one of the pitfalls. He was trying to fit his system into our system, and they're different systems, and it just wasn't a fit, man. It just wasn't a fit. So I think from an internal knowledge, having Sorensen is good, and also too having the perspective of Staley is also good. Is awesome as well. So yeah, I'm expecting a lot better things than what we saw before, for sure. Does Steve Wilkes even have a job this year? I don't think so. I don't think anyone hired him. So I mean, definitely wasn't the best performance from him last year. So, but he also got fired really late in the process as well. So that's also one thing that you got to keep in mind. So, anyways, we got football back tonight. Let's see if my ticket hits or busts majorly tomorrow. We'll also do our 49ers picks. I'm actually looking forward to that one. I feel like I did a 49ers ticket already, and I'm looking at that one, and I feel much better about that one. So we'll talk about that. But shout out to everyone. Appreciate you guys as always for watching the content, commenting, vibing, all that good stuff. It is appreciated. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Grab your cookies on the way out, and we'll be back to do it again tomorrow. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to